Hello everyone and welcome to Little History. We're starting at a weird time today because I was busy doing the serious academic stuff. But we're back with more Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And oh my god, today's going to be painful. It's going to be super duper painful. The serious academic stuff was excellent. We may see some people from it come join because I may have slightly promoted it. But anyway, it is a lovely workshop thing on coding medieval worlds, and so a lot of the conversations there are directly relevant, and you know, if they show up here in a useful way, we'll talk about them. Anyway, it was super awesome. It just started at 6 AM. It's currently 2 PM. We're just starting this stream. So, who's ready for this time? Oh, I forgot we were still wearing this. I totally forgot we were still wearing this. And, yay. Let's see what misery is coming out of at us from the microtransaction shop first, before we get too far. Oh, Raptorus, we'll fix that, but I actually I'm going to redeem your points for this because the Vinland arc has set gear. This is not the Carolingian armor. This is the Modernist armor with the Carolingian cloak. The Carolingian armor is the actually good one. The full Carolingian set is actually nice. I actually legitimately like it. Like the whole set, just looks okay. The whole set looks okay. In a shocking turn of events. Anyway, so yeah, don't let me forget, I'm going to refund those channel points, Raptorus, for you to use it some other time. Vinland has a set gear, so the usual perks will not work today. Yay, thank you, Math, so much for the subscription.
Always nice to see a friendly face. So if you see any about, send them my way.
What do you have today?
We're not going to do any of the contracts, I'm just going to see what pain we've got. A random predator bow. Ooh, fun. Shame that I can't actually afford it, but ooh, fun. Will it actually let me preview these, please? Because I want to take a look at how they designed this Munin. Leander, the all gear is set, so I'm going to refund those too. Gear is locked for the Vinland arc. I really want to see in more detail how they're doing this Munin, to see how bad it is. Let's see if we can do that. And the Celtic Cross Shield. Chat, remember what that is, we're going to enter menus. We're going to enter menus to take a look at these. To see what the heck they're doing. Because, you know, we're going to start off the pain with some more pain. Store. Yes, they let you just do this at any time. Well then. Wait, Helgi? Like, Helgi Hundingsbane? Not the relevant one, though. Anyway. Terrible. Super terrible. What's this? Still bad. Yup, don't worry about it. Why do they have an ice helmet on the bone? Never mind. Shields. Gilded shield. That one actually looks fun. Craft on demand with only the finest materials. It remains effective while looking awesome. I like that one. I don't like that one. Celtic Cross Shield. A brightly polished metal shield with engravings reminiscent of its Celtic origins. Right. Well, that's a bunch of generically Irish symbols smashed together. This symbol is called the trendy knot in Irish contexts and is explicitly Christian. and you just stuck 4 of them together, which is neat. It exists in Norse contexts as well, but it's not. It's like pre-Christian in those contexts, so that's weird. Watcher should be joining or showing up soon, hopefully. In an Irish context, if it's not actively Christian, it gets appropriated to become Christian. Yes. It shows up related to Christian contexts. Anyway, yeah. Once again, we're stuck with the reminder that metal shields are not really a historical thing in Europe. And so, you know, not a terrible design. I don't hate it. It's got a bunch of generic, like, Celtic knotwork stuff, which is part of the Irish insular style. So it's solidly fine. You know, solidly fine. Companions. What was the other one in the store? It was Munin, wasn't it? Angel of Death, Night Heron, Huon, Munin. They... What did they do to it? What did they do to... I have no idea what they're doing with this bird. I have absolutely no clue what they're doing with this bird. It's not runes, that's the thing. If they were runes, that would make sense. But like, if you look here, right in the center of his wing, I'm like 90% sure if you turn that the other way around, it's just like the emblem for Skyrim. I'm really sure that is just like the Skyrim logo, right there on his wing, just vibing. So I have no idea what this bird is trying to do or be or what the heck is going on. So that's fun. Looks like Huon is the same but blue. Anyway, you said that there was a new pack? Do you remember what the name of the new pack is? Is it this one? The Hearthwaru? Yes. They put it in the game! That's what they're doing! You absolute jerks, Ubisoft. Absolute horrible people. They put it in the game. Sudden Who helmet. A weird, like, blocky rendition of the Sudden Who helmet, but it's the Sudden Who helmet. It just... rude. Also, not a practical helm design, actually, as it turns out. The rough shape of it is, but the actual decoration on this one suggests, and is usually interpreted as being a ceremonial helm, for its burial context. I was complaining! At Sudden Who they gave us a heavy shield. They modeled Sudden Who half-excavated in this video game, and then they give us a heavy shield from it. So they can put the Sudden Who helm behind a paywall. Rude. So Dragon Wolf, this helmet is a really crappy rendition of the, probably most famous early 7th century English Germanic helm, found at a royal burial at Sudden Who. Anyway, let's see what's going on here. It's just a cloak. Once again, I'm struck by the fact that they just stuck a dead animal on top of it, on what is otherwise a very nice cloak. Really richly embroidered. That being, obviously, supposed to be a Lord's Guard. Now this one is weird. This is weird. An elite guard must stand out from the common warriors, yes. This armor marks you as a peerless fighter that stands you above others. Sure. That looks like it's a purple breastplate. That looks to me like it is like a 16th century breastplate with purple enameling on it. Like, that is solidly... This part here is solidly not medieval. Down here it looks like they use a gambeson, so quilted armor, which quilted armor is not attested in this time period. This could be a case of it just doesn't survive, but we don't have any attestations of it in Western Europe until the kind of later 11th century, or yeah, later 11th century. I had the dates right. And then they just like have like a coat of plates sewn together, but also stitched like it's leather, but also looks like it's gold. So I have no idea what this is doing. I think it's just visual interest. Once again, really nice like metal things, but no gloves. No gloves, as it turns out. You maybe want those. They're helpful for like all purposes. And then the boots, same problem. Looks like literal like metal plate greaves on otherwise a fuzzy set of boots. Fine. Is that... Hang on a minute. No, now wait just a gosh darn minute. This is illegal. No. The Star Spangled Banner starts playing in the distance. So... Fine. Okay. The horse is the best part of this entire set. Doesn't look like this is not a 9th century armor for a horse. This looks like it's more probably 11th century, but is fine. Yeah, maybe even 10th century in parts of Francia, but yeah. The purple still strikes me as weird. Oh yeah, and then this, because that totally makes sense. And then the gilded shield, which is fine. Neat. That was terrible. Thank you for inflicting that on me. Seems to foreshadow where we're going, though. How's America sound? Do you all want to go to America? Because I sure don't.
I have something here for you. Tidings that may displease you.
Tell me.
You remember Kjotve's son, Gorm? He has since taken
The
his
Yankee achieved a
father's
higher
place
rank in the order, somehow.
Is Gorham here in England? Is he another blotch on our list?
He is one of our targets, yes. But he is not in England. He is further west, in fact. A land called Vinland.
Vinland.
Centuries ago.
That place discovered in the 5th century by fucking Saint Brendan.
Recent fascination with Vinland, but I cannot say what it might be.
Let me find out for you after I silence Gorm.
Vinland is far away, according to my source.
Yes, Raptorus, in this game, everyone knows what Vinland is.
There is no danger that would cow me, Hytham. We'll speak with Ranvi and arrange passage.
It is exactly as stupid as it sounds.
I have to go.
Then go in peace.
So, the name of Vinland is, obviously, it's Old Norse. It means either wine or meadow. It kind of depends as to whether you think it was Vinland or Vinland. Long or short. Determines whether that's supposed to mean wine or meadow. Or potentially friend. But given that there's no ending on it, it's probably not Vinner, friend. So, yeah. The historical settlement is a place that exists. It is in Newfoundland. It is on the northern coast of Newfoundland at that. We confirmed this in the 1960s with the discovery of Blonsell Meadows, which is really the only confirmed Norse site in North America. And we have 2 sagas about it, which we'll talk about while I'm running around the actual coast, because we'll need some downtime, because there's actually very little plot for this one.
I want to see the Alliance map.
Have you spoke with Hytham about Vinland?
I have.
Good.
I have marked it on the map with a bit of guesswork as to its location.
So Randvi actually doesn't know where it is, but just kind of puts it in somewhere. And just sticks it there.
What can you tell me of Vinland? Is it a real place?
It may be a little bit strong for us, but we are at least close enough to not be completely dunked on. So yeah, he just casually pulls up a perfectly accurate map of it. Don't worry about it.
Make the long journey.
Don't worry about it.
Her word. Nessa is her name. Meet her at the docks when you are ready to
Yeah, Helen, I wish that would be true too, but no. I think someone did a work on the rivers, and also there's one site we see in this game that also appears in Assassin's Creed 3, which means that we're actually in New England. We're not on the Gulf of St. Lawrence. But anyway, so yeah, in this game, they are saying that it was discovered by St. Brendan. In other words, they're saying that the Navigatio Brendani, to use the Latin name for the text, is a historically accurate account of a trip to North America. This is essentially the argument kind of sort of used by Tim Severin, who does like experimental archaeology, and does it really well, to be honest. Where he showed in like the late 80s, early 90s, that the voyage is technically possible in the kind of small boats or coracles used most frequently by Irish ascetics at the time.
Good day to you, stranger.
Raptors, I think we're referencing the same thing.
Randvi said you would be our guide.
That is right.
There's just a teeny tiny problem. The Navigatio Brendani is completely wild, and the last place St. Brendan gets to is the Isle of the Blessed, which is a real place that exists, and he literally gets like a preview of paradise. But no, that's North America. Just trust me, it's North America.
When you arrive. To be seen as you are would raise suspicions.
Also, by the way, we're not allowed to be an elite. We have to dress like we're a merchant.
Good thinking. Only taking care of our prize stringer.
So,
first things first, Eivor.
the Navigatio is first created, I think it's in the 9th century that the text first emerges in Irish. Once again, I'm struck by the fact that Eivor knows literally every language on the planet.
Let me know when you're ready and we'll get going.
When going to Vinland, your equipment and inventory is left behind until you return.
Ready to set
So,
sail?
our usual thing, what we've got here, is
I'll leave my
where
gear
you can
behind
change my
and
gear
dress
to
the
inflict
part.
maximum torture.
To Vinland
Will
we
not
go.
work in this section.
Hop in. We'll leave now.
So, we're heading over to North America. Huzzah. Anyway, the Navigatio, I think is in 9th, first emerges in like, it's either the 8th or the 9th century, in Irish. But it's an example of a really common kind of travel genre that's popular in medieval Irish at the time. Which is fine.
Kingdoms of stone.
It's not the best example of the genre, to be honest. But what did happen is it's basically, you know, those cases where you got like the genre of literature, and for no reason one example becomes stupid popular and like goes viral, and then everything else is just parroting that. That's what happened with the Navigatio, where for some reason it finds a lot of traction across Europe. There's something like 150 manuscripts of the Navigatio that survive from several different countries, and we know it existed in Scandinavia too. And it's ludicrously popular and ludicrously influential, despite being, you know, fine. It's a fun read, it's a pretty good example of genre, it's not the most interesting. But no, here we are. Oh, by the way, once again, we need to disguise ourselves so that no one knows who we are. So we come sailing up, broad frickin' daylight, with the Raven Clan emblem on the sail. But yes, yeah, there's a sea cat, there's an Ethiopian devil, because, oh my god, the medieval conceptions of race are a time.
Someone in charge.
And then there's the Isle of Sacred Cows, and the everyone dying by going insane for doing a heresy. And then there's the Isle of the Blessed.
You look stronger than most of the others.
So...
What's your name? Yora of Jorvik. Yora, as in horse? My father never wanted children.
So, anyway, in a Scandinavian context, the Navigatio becomes really popular, and of our two songs about Vinland, it's pretty clear that one of them is at least implicitly, if not explicitly, borrowing elements from the Navigatio Brindania. So, you know, it is related to Vinland indirectly, fair play to them, but we really should not be treating it as a historical one.
We cannot send supplies to Gorm without his guidance.
Haul what supplies we have to the nearest camps, then. Gorm's men will do the rest. Let me go. I can carry whatever supplies Gorm needs.
Oh yeah, totally not suspicious that this place on no map that is trying to be kept secret and stuff is just a merchant just sails up.
Someone must know where he has run off to.
You know, Pinky, it kinda does. It kinda super does. So anyway, our plot for this one is we're basically just going to try and
Sunan, guide me.
locate Gorm somewhere in all of this. And by the way, happy North America, everyone. It looks lovely. Absolutely lovely. Totally isn't a very obvious human settlement right there. You know, actually the Vinland part, this Vinland arc is genuinely beautiful, and they actually do nighttime a lot better than they do in England, so fair play to them. Like, I don't want to shit on this too much. It is genuinely beautiful. It looks vaguely kind of generically American, I'll give it that much, yeah. So... what's going on here? Everyone?
Grab a shovel from Gorm's storehouse?
No, it is a rotten place, that storehouse. Have you seen it? A bloody mess.
If it's a mess...
Smashed crates.
Uh-huh.
Somebody crawled off, left a trail of blood.
By the way... let's just go into the inventory here. We have nothing. We have just this one blouse, which is... it's fine. I wish it had a little more color, but you know, the dark here, dark wool here, and then a kind of like leather outer tunic for like seaworthiness is totally fine. No gloves. No gloves, no boot. Just a very generic pair of boots. Actually, a really nice pair of boots, to be honest. Those are really nice. More likely they'd have leather shoes, and then these wrappings will be made out of wool, instead of these kind of weird strap things. And then they just run all the way up the leg. Anyway, no weapons. None at all. Nope. Eivor can only use her fists here. I have no idea what you're talking about. None. Literally none. Yep. Yep. Eivor will not use this except for finisher animations, despite it existing.
Pour me a horn, would you?
I had ale for you, Owl, but no mead.
What? We had a whole cask.
Oh no, what happened to our
smashed
meat?
it over Olaf's head, right there in the storehouse.
Well, that's awkward.
Horse hammer. I am done with this place. Send me home, Helgi. I heard Gorm took a strap to Olaf.
Well then, this Olaf seems to have had a very bad time.
Stole goods to trade with the Skrelling.
Gorm dragged him up to the storehouse for a beating.
Somewhere in this storehouse, supposedly,
This
wherever.
Olaf was trading with locals. Good to know there are other folk around.
So yeah, somewhere in this storehouse.
Someone picked the lock and got away. Or was hauled off. Could be a trail.
There is a path.
Broke through here. Made quite a mess. Could be Olaf went this way.
And then it can be very politely put two boxes in the way, so we have to punch Punch the boxes. With the power of exploding fists. We're fine. Anyway, there are side quests to pick up here before I leave town, because I don't really want to come back to town once I leave. So, we'll see if I can do this. But anyway, this town actually is supposedly... Oh, they haven't activated yet. Dagnabbit. There's one, like, right over there, once I've started the questline. Okay. Supposedly, this town is a real place, according to the Norse sagas. This is Nihöfn, which is the farthest south place that Norse settlers went in the history of Vinland, according to Grænlendinga saga, the saga of the Greenlanders.
Might be Olaf's.
The settlement was founded by Thorfinnur Karlsefni.
Good. Get my bearings.
After his voyage leads to some repeatedly unfortunate failures and really quite disastrous things. And then he found the place there, and it lasts for a couple of months. And his wife gives birth to their child there, the first and only Norse child supposedly born in North America. But, obviously the land was already inhabited, and so, in Grænlendinga saga, they have met and traded with the local people, who they call Skrælingjar, and the first trade is peaceful. Thorfinnur very wisely suggests that no, you're not allowed to trade weapons, but you can trade anything else, food, dairy, whatever. Supposedly is like goat's milk plus some cheese. That was actually traded there on this first peaceful one. And then his wife has a kid, and when that happens, this weird like ghost Skrælling appears. And I do mean that in a fairly technical sense. Oh yeah, by the way, we just have like magic plot powers that tell us where we need to go. Right into the center of town here. There's this Skrælling woman who appears when no one else is in the room, while Thorfinnur's wife is having labor contractions, and helps deliver the child. And then they kind of vaguely communicate using some gestures, and then she vanishes before anyone else shows up. Just poof, gone. No one else sees her. So, might be a ghost, question mark? But then immediately thereafter, potentially because lactose intolerance exists, the reason why for this is extremely uncertain. The Skrælingjar all attack and wind up killing off a bunch of people, and the settlement at Nihöfn is forced to be abandoned. And it is never resettled. It exists for about a month, and that's that. Yeah, so the thought is that since they traded cheese and milk as part of it, and then the cows are scary and weird, because apparently cows are very scary and weird, that the Skrælingjar thought that the Norse were trying to poison them because they all got sick from eating dairy, and that caused them to attack. This is a pretty big inference based off extremely minimal evidence, but it's, you know, fine.
Do any of you speak Norse?
Oh yeah, we have found one language that Eivor does not speak. This will not stop her from communicating in any way, shape, or form. The visual design of these, like, I am not an expert in American cultures. I'm just not. So, I will not make any strong claims as to the identity of this tribe, but their visual design certainly looks to me to be Iroquois. And so, I mean, we're seeing very... But the buckskin plus beating patterns looks to me like we're looking at New England tribes. And certainly what we are not looking at is either the Dorset or the Thule people.
9 days I hung in the tree. 9 days, you hear me?
There is a
So,
language I know well,
right,
but the words
the actual Skrylings are most like, well, actually no, we can talk about that because that's more complicated than it sounds. And I do not speak Iroquois, and I did not learn any translation. I did not look up any translations for this, so we're going to assume that they're saying real things, and that's fine. But anyway, the term Skryling is a fairly dubious etymology. We're not really sure what it actually means. It could be scream, the people who like are wailing, or could refer to a kind of like withering, like dried fruit or something. It's not super sure. But what is clear is that this is a generic term in Icelandic by the end of the Middle Ages for kind of non-Norse peoples, and essentially barbarian.
Stab me from behind, Drengur. Like Sigurd and the dragon. Please.
Oh.
I'm not here to kill you. I've come for Gorm.
Not
Olaf is...
Not today.
Oh, stay clear of Gorm then. He's not a good
well,
man.
Olaf here, quick, is an actual reference...
Such a terrible man.
Referenced by, I guess, antonym,
it is a matter of honor.
to Leif Erikson, because Leif's epithet is Leifur Hetni, which is literally Leif the Lucky. So Olaf is unlucky. Oh,
Honor is the only thing. Yes, the only thing.
But he's not quite. Olaf here is not quite all together.
Nothing to speak of.
Anyway, so Skryling essentially just means barbarian. I think that's a pretty fair interpretation. It's used to refer to Sami peoples in the early modern period.
Still alive, yes. Still alive.
And sometimes even people as far away as like Arkhangelsk. So really the extreme northern coast of the subarctic. In the North American context, in the Vinland sagas, this probably refers to either the Dorset people or the Thule people. The Dorset, the uncertainty is because the Dorset die out in about 1000, having been pretty much wiped out by the incoming Thule people, who are far more militant than the Dorset. What is clear is, you know, by the 1300s, the Dorset are pretty clearly, by the Thule are in Greenland, and the term Skryling clearly refers to that.
It seems a great risk for so little.
Gorm carries with him a crystal that talks. It tells him where to go and what to do.
Oh yeah, I wonder if we know what this crystal is. Take your bets. If you guessed the piece of Eden from AC3, you get no points for being correct.
He digs. Such a mystery.
What is he digging for?
That is a mystery he will not tell.
But my guess is the best guess. He seeks the door to Jotunheim.
Indeed. Apparently he's seeking to find an entrance to Jotunheim, which means supposedly, you know, Jotunheimr is a real place that exists by real people, because this game's plot is garbage. This game's plot is extremely garbage.
One of Gorm's camps. All look like that. All of them.
They are well guarded,
Pinky,
you say?
why would they change your mind? You're right. AC2 is either AC2 or AC4, and the game has, the series has never been better than that.
Not like you, as well equipped as a stable hand.
It does not take much to kill a man.
But sharp steel helps. Oh yes.
You're not wrong.
I could use
See,
better
Eivor
weapons.
agrees, you're not wrong, Olaf. So, anyway, yeah. The Skryling are mentioned in one other source besides the Vinland sagas and kind of early modern stuff. And that's in Ivar Bárðarsson's description of Greenland from the 14th century. He is one of basically our last detailed description of Greenland, and he shows up right after supposedly one of the settlements. I think it's the eastern settlement of Greenland. There's the eastern one and the western one, which are actually the eastern one is north of the western one.
Thank you for this, Olaf.
Don't ask.
And until I say otherwise, speak nothing of this to anyone. Might be a good idea to trade now that I'm here. He seems eager to trade goods and wares.
Yes. Thank you, shop. We can trade stuff for stuff. So we're instead of slathering our iron and our leather and our carbon onto our weapons, we are giving them to other people because the Iroquois, Haudenosaunee, I think, if I'm remembering, if Chad is right, apparently used iron and carbon as part of their like material culture and things that they value. I don't understand this account. Actually, I should buy one more thing since I can afford it. Thank you.
I'll see you later, friend. I can hike into the woods straight for Gorm, or gather raw materials and trade for better weapons.
Racers. Raptorus, we do not get to keep this gear. It is usable in this arc. It is usable exclusively in this arc. And then once we leave, we'll go back to wearing, like, Norse material culture.
Olaf, tell me about your falling out with Gorm.
He caught me stealing from his locked chests. I wish to trade with the villagers here.
Then he gave you a good thrashing, did he?
Yes, yes.
That makes sense. Yes. I also don't speak French, and so I sometimes do the thing where I use English pronunciations on French spellings. Whoops. Raptorus, I can't decide either. You make a compelling question of all of the dubiousness, and we're just gonna let it be dubious. Anyway, I need to actually go back to Niha for a moment, because there's need to pick up the side quest here, because half of the mysteries in this side quest relate to that side quest. I think. Or this one unlocks the other ones? Something like that. There's not a whole lot of content in Vinland, there's a lot of running around though, so...
Gorm is in these woods somewhere.
Yes, Eivor, we know. I know Gorm is in these woods. I'll tell you where he is. He's out here. Obviously. I mean, really, Eivor, this isn't that complicated. He's clearly in the farthest away spot from you, which is where, AC3 happens. Oh yeah, the armor set for this is actually quite good. Like, I don't mind most things about this armor set. Like, as far as I can tell, it's materially, like, really well constructed.
Over the waves we sail.
Quite a number you've taken.
Indeed.
It
That's
was
a
not
moose,
me
by the way.
alone. My friends and I won them. We call ourselves the Toothbreakers. Sadly, we were separated by a
heron
beast of a kind we have
and a
never
wolf.
seen. In one fell swoop, it tore our group apart.
And apparently you're already
We are
preparing it to
supposed
turn
meet
into,
here
like,
to hunt
leather.
that creature before returning home. And so, I wait.
Wait in safety then.
Safe travels, and watch the woods.
Ta-da.
O'er the waves we sail.
But yes, did you know moose are in this game? The game may have fooled you with this legendary animal of not a moose.
Has anyone seen a hunter? He is tall, his hair is like mine, and he uses a bow. He was last seen hunting near the woods to the west.
Uh-huh.
He should be back by now.
Okay.
Find you, Gore. No matter how long.
No, Eivor, we're doing side quests for random people that are working for Gorm. Didn't you know? Oh crap. Ow. Well, that hurt. Yay, thrilling combat, isn't it? God, it continues to not actually be enjoyable combat. Well, that's fine. Sorry, yes, Pinky, in the beginning of the game, in Norway, you know, that place that has elk, there is a legendary beast called the Elk of Three Peaks, and it is an American elk. Just because. No particular reason, just felt like it. And so you suddenly have, you know, an actual, like, American elk as the legendary animal in Norway, despite the word elk meaning what in English is called moose. Oh, by the way, we don't use this axe ever. Even as it glitches and gets clipped into Eivor's hand. I'm so confused by that decision. Of all decisions that they made, that's probably the single most confusing. Oh no, it's another wolf. Ugh. You know, one of these days, instead of a wolf, it will be a turkey, and we'll be amused.
Where are you hiding, Gore?
And combat. Huzzah. Well, I'm sure this guy is fine, right?
A lonely end. Luck skipped his turn. Take you back to Newhofen. Toll ask for a corpse.
Uh-huh. Fled my pals and I lost in these endless woods, tumbled off a cliff, broke my leg. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You know, not a lot of blood. So, like, is the letter not complete because he didn't... He, like, tripped and fell off... No, because he fell off the cliff first. And then wrote. And then did he die mid-sentence? How did he get over here? Did the wolves maul him? Not a lot of blood for that. Why is there writing in the 9th century in Norse?
You have some weight on you.
Biggest question. Why is there writing in the 9th century in Old Norse? That distinctly... Please don't. Hello? What is my fast move? That must be my fast move. Hello, foxes.
Almost
You are all
there.
cute. Am I though? I'm like 200 meters away from there. There are turkeys. Hello, turkeys. Exactly. Ow. Turkeys are mean. Ow. Oh, God, no. I'm gonna get mauled to death by turkeys. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is how I end. Everyone, beg mercy from me. Yeah, didn't you know, Raptorus turkeys were never able to fly? They definitely weren't overbred to be ridiculously overweight all the time.
Brother? Brother?
Yeah, it's not a great look, as it turns out.
You have always been too selfish, reckless. Even Mother said so.
Well,
blame not the adventurer, for the pull of blood songs can tempt even the gods.
Where do I go now? Without you to guide me, what should I do? Lost. I am
correct,
lost.
Pinky. Just.
Remember your brother and all that he is. Bring home his
Turkeys are
tales
the
and let
scariest
his
enemies in
legacy
this
be
game,
grown.
including Gorm.
That is all we are. Words and song.
I will hone my bowcraft, and he will smile upon me from above. He will be proud.
You know, above is a weird word to use there, because in a Christian context, you know, we don't think anything of that.
Thank you for bringing him
Because,
back.
yeah, of course, heaven is up.
Thank you.
There's not
The
a
best
whole
hunter ever.
lot of consistent evidence that there is in above to get to the afterlife in Norse context. Like, hell is explicitly to the north and down a bit. Mostly to the north, but just a wee bit down. Ausgarder is over. Like, across the sky, but mostly over. It's only once you get inside Asgard that there are the, like, later, like, layers of heavens that are clearly and indisputably up. There's no evidence that it's up, to be clear, but it's a little more dubious than we may want it to be. Cahalan, have you met Gorm? He's disfigured, and therefore clearly yes. Anyway. I don't have a way to do this quietly, except for, you know, Hidden Blade, but...
Wherever he goes. You are Odin!
Also, yeah, did I mention we have the Hidden Blade, and...
Patience will reward us!
Nope, not even close. Oh yeah, right. That is a thing I can do. You can just stab people with the Hidden Blade if you have no main hand weapon. And it only does like half their HP. But it does knock them down, so... Oh wow, you can truly just chain stun people with the Hidden Blade. Holy cow. I did not realize this was this overpowered. Because you can just chain stun them. You do that, you stun them.
Or find some resources at the least.
Enemies will flee once in a blue moon. There's truly once in a blue moon that they'll actually decide to do that smart thing. Despite it obviously being a good idea, for the most part they do the classic video game, fight to the last man, never surrender. Hello? Stealth attack. Stealth. No, I don't. That doesn't count as a stealth attack for me. Okay. So that was a thing. Don't know why the game did not let me do anything. Why the game gave me the prompt and then did not let me actually do anything with the prompt. I've not had that happen before in a while. Anyway, don't mind me. Nope. You saw nothing. You saw nothing. See? Nothing at all. You know, it doesn't have any of those. It would be...
One step closer.
Steinhus, Bruhamar, Falgraf, Narfliot. Okay. On my knee. Okay, well that was fun. We cleared one camp. There are 4 camps to clear. And once we clear the camps, we're done. So... yay? We may as well heal, we kinda need that. So where are we actually going to now? We have a thing there, and a thing there, and obviously stuff all around. Yeah, I think there's only like 5. Yeah, there's only like... okay, there are 6 more mysteries around here. Plus a handful of... wealths. Well, every wealth in this is just, like, two carbon ingots. Because, of course, no, they're just carbon. You know, that thing that totally makes ingots that are metal. You can slather on stuff. Makes no dang sense. Oh, well. There is truly only so long I can be angry at the AC Valhalla upgrade system, despite it being garbage. Despite it being bad, yeah, that was a cougar. Mountain lions exist in this game. Don't worry about it. I'll be honest, Raptors, I have no idea. None at all. Oh god, Pinky, you think this is bad? Norway was nothing but rock climbing simulator. Like, it was literally entirely just go climb rocks. Don't worry about the rest of it, just go climb rocks. But you know, one thing, let's give credit to the game where it deserves credit, which is not very many places, but let's recognize them when they exist. It is dang pretty. And it does a really good job on making the different places, the different maps, whether that's Norway or England or Vinland here, it does a really good job on making them all actually different. And even though it does that in a weird way, you know, where, the saturate... ow. Hey, don't do that. No. We're just gonna, like, stop you repeatedly. Wow, this is truly nutty. Watch this. Combat, folks. Incredibly detailed, useful combat. Please, run. No, no. Wow. Died really fast. By the way, since this game doesn't have lootable weapons and armor, we are not looting the weapons and we are not looting the armor. Should we probably be in this circumstance? Yes. Are we going to be? No. Will we have to just kind of deal with that? Yep. Anyway, let's see where are we up to next. The Bruhamar outpost. We went to the second one correctly. They're all busy paying attention to where I used to be instead of where I am, because none of them saw. None of them saw at all. Oh yes, didn't you know they had zip lines that they use all the time to go everywhere? Mm-hmm. Definitely. We are in fact in Vinland. As you can see, it looks totally different.
Seems odd to come
see,
Here's a nice hard shaft in the rear.
you see nothing. See?
You merit the black eagle. Now you bleed.
Boom. I have done the. Oh, hello. Oh, okay, that didn't work. You'd actually parry him first. Now we can combo him. Oh, I took too long. Well, that's awkward.
Drive away.
Ah. Whiffed it. Ta-da! And then we stomp. And then we do this. Oh, too slow again. Did you just throw a shield at me? Once again, did he just fling his shield at me as if I... Oh, throw weapon. Hello. Whack.
Go on! Look at his eye!
I feel like he threw... Oh, well, that hurt. Rude. How very rude of him. Oh, he doesn't do the thing. Okay, I might actually like have to put effort in here. So that is not a lot of damage for that special attack. So I might actually have to like fight him normally. How tragic. Ta-da! Hey look, we happen to locate the correct note that tells us where we're going next. To the other camp. Oh yeah, these guys are edgy as hell, did you know? Leander, it's the largest round of settlement according to the two sagas, which, by the way, I didn't actually introduce what those are. In the two Vinland sagas are the saga of Eric the Red, Eirik Saga Røyde, and the saga of the Greenlanders, Grænlendinga saga. These were both composed, probably in the 13th century, in Greenland, and then were copied elsewhere. Eirik Saga Røyde is found in Høgsbok, which dates to about 1300, and is this big kind of geographical compendium thing. Grænlendinga saga is found in Flateyjarbók, which is dates to about 1380, but both of the texts linguistically look like they come from Greenland and represent two different oral traditions. They are not the same, derived from the same thing, and they don't agree in a lot of details. So that makes doing the history side of it really hard, but says something really interesting about the oral traditions extant in Greenland in the 13th century. So, you know, I take that. For what I'm doing, it's a far more interesting bit of history than, you know, did for 14 years in the 11th century there exist a European settlement in North America? Well, frankly, I don't super care. I probably should care, but it's way more fun to recognize the people who believed that there were. And think about what that means for Greenlandic culture. The actual understudied question related to the sagas about Vinland. So anyway, Eirik Saga Røyde is really, really fantastic. As I mentioned a little bit ago, the sagas about Vinland are inspired, at least indirectly, by the Navigatio Brendani. Eirik Saga Røyla is the one that shows that really, really clearly. Because lots of weird stuff happens in them, as it turns out. Oh, there's still an archer. Hello, archer. Why are we not grabbing his bow, given that we have no bows right now? Even a crummy bow is better than no bow. Anyway, in Eirik Saga Røyla, there are such fun things as, let's see, a one-footed man, a Sheapod, just casually shows up at one point. Is shading himself with his foot, as they do. And then he's just hanging out. They see him from a distance and they go, "Ah, let's not mess with him." Okay. Next one's over there. We'll grab these, we'll go up here. So, look, we're gonna grab these. We're gonna grab these. We're gonna circle around here, we're gonna grab this, and then we're gonna head out. Sound like a plan, everyone? You know, Pinky, you're not wrong. Dinosaurs did get farther. Admittedly, they had a little bit easier job of it, but fair play to you. Anyway, so, the one-footed Sheapod shows up. There's this really weird scene where there's someone dressed in all white. Just kind of shows up, and it's very clearly kind of, like, angelic question mark symbolism. Because remember, the sagas were composed in a Christian cultural milieu. Right, these aren't pagan Norse, even if they imagine pagan people to exist. So these guys kinda suck, I won't lie. And the fact that I don't have a... I don't have a bow to lure anyone. I don't have any way to kind of trick someone from coming out from under their shelter. Come on. Be closer. There it is. By the way, creative name, Wolfstorm, named Wolfstormer. And I should have probably gotten a bow, but that's fine. Ow. Wow. So that worked quite well for how nearly ugly that was. Oh, come on, let's kill the wolf. There we go. Wolf dead. And crunched. Ow. Hello, dude? You exist? Ow. Rude. God, this is not a great situation to be in. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Nailed it. Leander, that guy's sword was on fire, don't worry about it. Anyway, so, there's the chain stun. Let's just not screw this up. Ow. That technically counts as screwing it up, Eivor. Sir? Are you okay, sir? do something dumb? Yeah, you're gonna do that. I could have missile reversal him. Oh, that's awkward. No. Stop it, Eivor. Oh, I died. How did I die? Anyone want to let that...
Gods. Hurting all over. I thought I was dead.
Also, I didn't desync. I didn't just...
Då det går det. Då går han säga gigon. On the was runa det
well, that was awkward. Anyway, so...
You want me to...
That is perhaps one of the big, we can talk more about the sagas now. Eirik Saga, as I said, is like super fantastical. A lot of imagery related to kind of blessed, holy Christian imageries, something.
Gar hagwegun yo da hiuni ne gantni wahyodans.
No, that definitely isn't scripted. This didn't happen on my, like, test playthrough of it.
Our friends healed me with their berries. I'm grateful.
Yes, yes. And elderberries.
Wait, they're just elderberries.
And good for you.
I feel much better. Do these elderberries grow wild around here?
Yes, yes. All through the land. Here and there.
What?
How did you come here, Olaf? Are you a prisoner here?
Confusing.
Oh no.
Anyway, so that should say some. How fantastical Eirik Saga is should say something about how difficult it is to use the sagas as historical sources, because they're from 200 years later, representing two different kind of oral traditions about the voyages to Vinland. And they agree in some details, but they don't agree in a lot of them, like geography. And they also don't agree with everything that happens in that geography. So, if you actually map it out, like Niha, this place that we're at right now, just kind of doesn't exist in Eirik Saga Røyde. No one ever goes there. Thorfinnur Karlsefni certainly doesn't. Also, we just stole a canoe, don't worry about it. Hey look, it's moose. We should probably let the moose do their thing. Because moose are scary. Ow. We crashed someone else's canoe after we stole it. Who? Is that a wolf? It is a wolf. Okay. Speaking of wolves. There were more of them there. Yeah, we're going to... Yeah, Pinky, let me revise my statement a little bit. Lonzo Meadows is definitely Norse. Norse people definitely went to North America, and the sagas and the radiocarbon evidence agree that it is about the year 1000 that this happens. Leifur is converted to Christianity by Olafur Tryggvason, and before he goes to Vinland, he's actually given the task of converting Greenland to Christianity. So it is happening right around the year 1000. So far as that goes, it's all fine. What gets really tricky is figuring out what happens in the later voyages and what kind of is actually going on in Vinland as a place. And the geography's there. Because they just don't agree. The two sagas do not agree. Oh, that's a snake. Hello, snake. The two sagas don't agree in the geography at all. And so, yeah. Lonzo Meadows is a site probably called Leifsbudir, which is the one place the two sagas do agree on. That's the original place that Leifur built his houses, because he stayed for one season in North America. Niha is the settlement created by Thorfinnur Karlsefni. He's Leifr's brother-in-law, who has is a whole different set of somethings.
Here I, Brendan of Clonfert, servant of our Lord, to make my final inscription before this holy fount of light.
Yeah?
My journey is ended. For 2 and some years have I heeded the inner voice of my Lord, and followed it to this place, to receive his word. I have seen the gate with its ancient markings. I have heard the voice of his angel calling me to visit. Yet,
yes, we did in fact find something written by Saint Brendan from the 5th century, carved in stone, in a circular monolith in North America.
Yet the way remains closed.
This is, however, basically how the Navigatio, or his farthest out point on the Navigatio ends. So as far as this goes, this is not... Right, this isn't as terrible as it could be, because at least they're sticking with the idea that this is the end point of Brendan's voyage. And given that it is the end point of Brendan's voyage, they're actually able to potentially, do something with it. I need to be higher. Where is my viewpoint for this? Is it this weird standing one? Right, there's usually a pretty obvious spot I'm supposed to look from. It's not quite so obvious from this one. Nope, I do need to be standing over there, it looks like. Raptorus, as far as I know, not even a little bit. Oh, okay, this thing is in the wrong spot. I need to move it the other way. Get out of here. You're not welcome. Also, remember, this game is obsessed with having all of these. For those of you who know Yonder Deep lore, the game says pretty much every, Neolithic site. What is missing? Hello? Oh, I just wasn't lined up. Okay. The game says that every Neolithic site and every set of monoliths or standing stones or henges is actually an Isu site. The deep lore of the game, these were built by the ancient aliens 75,000 years ago before they all went extinct, as a way to do things. Just things. No idea what those things are, but they're things. So that is detail we can't really avoid when thinking about this, because yeah. Okay, it looks like we're turning around to go to this again, and then we're going to go in search of more stuff. 100%ing, yay! Fun. Good thing this map is actually not very big. Also, hang on a minute. Did they just have an elderberry? Okay. Fine. That is fine. I didn't think that was fine, but it is. It's just that they have the saddest looking elderberry trees I have ever seen in my life. Elderberries grow on trees, they're not just random bushlets like raspberries are. But here we are. So one extremely sad looking plan later, and one extremely sad looking tree later. Here we go. Anyway, gotta say, nighttime in this particular map is beautiful. You know, for the most part, I think this game really does a pretty lame job with its night times. Especially in England, where there's been many times where I've just not known what time of day it is, because I can't see a difference. Because it's generally just so bright all the time at night. This game, however, does somewhat better on actually, you know, recognizing. I need more iron in order to be able to do anything else with that.
I must be.
But that's fine. We now have a bow. Let us use the bow. Valhalla. Elderberries grow all over the bloody place, in both Europe and North America, but they grow on trees. Trees that can go up to like 20 feet tall. They aren't small. They aren't super small trees. But no, apparently they're firstly unique to North America, because Eivor has never heard of them, despite them existing. Well, they don't actually grow natively in Scandinavia, but they grow in France, which it does sound like Eivor has been to before. So, Oh, that's a fight. Hang on. That is actually a fight. Yeah, those are extremely difficult, those are extremely difficult estimates, right? To answer the question as to how big the settlement was, Lonsdale Meadows is extremely small. It's only about a dozen buildings. But what makes it... The saga sources say that it's... I think it's two... In Grindlanding Saga, it's 2 ships, which eventually actually split up. So there's a ship run, I think, by Thor Karlsefni, and then there's a fight that's by or a ship that's led by Thorgrimr, I think. They both start with Thor names, and I don't remember quite which one's which. So, whoops. Oh yeah, by the way you deal with a moose is by shooting it in the kneecaps. That is the correct way to cripple a moose. Oh. No. Ow. Crap. Sorry, we're just gonna slow time for a moment. Don't hang me. Did I mention we have the ability to just kind of slow time whenever? Come on, stop doing this. There it is. What? Hello? Hello? It didn't let me stun attack. It cheated. You are a cheating cheater game. Oh, well that hurts. I just got mauled by a moose. Ow. Now I dodged that. I dodged that one too, I promise. Progress. Ow. Rude. One more thing should deal with it. Ow, what? That's not fair. You're not allowed to knock me out of my abilities. Monsieur Moose. Monsieur Moose, hello? Nailed it. So I mean, this particular moose is, I think, just murderous. You know, I have no idea about the ecology of moose social behaviors. When they are aggressive, when they are not. Would make sense if they're only aggressive in rut. But this moose is a murderous murderer who does murders all the time, and everyone is scared of. So the normal rules don't apply. Also, we won't get rewarded in any meaningful way for completing that. Just in case you thought like there might be benefits, literally none. Oh yeah, Mobius, you are absolutely correct. Everything that was remotely dangerous got murdered. So that's why bears went extinct in Ireland fairly early on for exactly that reason. And it just kind of keeps going from there. It doesn't get better. The entirety of the British Isles. The things that are dangerous get genocided. And then the things that are not dangerous but run away get genocided, and then the trees get genocided, and then the other people get genocided. Oh wait, all of that happens at the same time. Anyway. Oh yeah, moose are scary. Moose are really bloody scary. Like, they are 8 feet tall, can run at 30 miles an hour, and are also mean. So you don't mess with megafauna herbivores. It's just not a good time. Anyway, I wanted to come here specifically because it's a whale. And this whale is actually a reference. As I was saying, in Grænlendinga Saga there are, I think it's in Grænlendinga Saga, it might be in Eirik Saga actually, where there are 2 ships. One led by Thorkat Karlsefni, and the other led by, I think it's Thorgrimr. Thorkat is a good Christian. Thorgrimr is a pagan. And so when they first get to Vinland, everyone's starving because they're like, wow, this is nowhere near as nice as how Leif described it. And so everyone's having a bad time, and there's a famine, and it all sucks. And then as they're going, Thorgrimr goes, hey look guys, I found a whale. And then they go and they're like, huh, we don't know what kind of whale that is. Even Thorkat, who is known in the saga for being really very, very smart and knows all the stuffs, can't identify that whale. But, you know, food. And so they eat it, and then they all get sick. And Thorgrimr was like, haha, it was actually Thor who sent me this whale. And they're like, Jesus, dude, you suck. And so they push the whale back in, and they hold a prayer vigil, and then God sends them better food, and there is no more whale. All the fish return after that. Okay, fabulous. Then, they're like, wow, well that was a thing. Then they're going, wow, that really was annoying. Anyway, we're not sure what direction to go, because this isn't going to last forever. So Thorkat was like, yeah, I'm gonna go west. And Thorgrimr was like, no, I'm gonna go east. And so the 2 ships split up. Thorkat's ship is of course fine. Thorgrimr's ship gets caught in a storm and blown to Ireland, where the entire ship is captured by the locals and executed.
Arne, fly! Fly to me!
What are you...
Dropped something?
Good old Arne, my beloved pet, fell down. Well, flew his way down below. Now the poor thing is stuck. I cannot seem to encourage my Arne to fly back up. Looks like we still have a long way to go.
Arne!
It cannot fly. I'll have to lead it back up.
Watch out for his affections. Arne is the fiery sort, loves to give kisses. Please don't kill him if he pecks you a bit.
You say affectionate. I say, is probably trying to do murder? Come on. Over here. Hey, you got over the wall. Yay. Come on. Bird? Are you there?
Your voice is beautiful, Anna.
Truly the most riveting of side quests, and yes, it is a pet turkey.
Thank you for bringing Anna back into my arms. Now, I would like to repay your kindness. Now, I have what is left of Anna's family. Unfortunately, they didn't survive their training quite as well. Try it. They're quite delicious. I guess I will go back to my friends, the Toothbreakers.
Uh-huh.
They still wait for me at the
Well, that was exciting.
Come on, Anna. Let us take flight.
So, by the way, this turkey is the most overstuffed wild turkey I have ever seen. They're nowhere near that fat, to be honest. They're just like a wild turkey is only like 10 pounds tops. You really don't see them all that often being dramatically overweight so that they can't fly. Because turns out, not really a good survival mechanism. But that's fine, I guess. That's fine. Anyway, what do you think? Say we actually do the thing we're supposed to do and commit murder. I have no horn. By the way, I genuinely don't know, but it looks an awful lot to me like my bow is made out of unprocessed or minimally processed deer antler. Is that a reasonable construction for horn bows? And do the Iroquois have them? So I'm find it a bit dubious. We'll phrase it that way. Anyway, hey look, it's the main, it's the central site. It's just somewhere out here. Somewhere. Like right there. Hey, I wonder if he'll recognize us. Hey Gorm, hey Gorm. Oh, I can't fly any lower.
Best not to draw attention here.
Okay, we might actually try and be stealthy until such a time as we can stab Gorm. So stab Gorm first, commit mass murder later. Gotta be discreet about this. Like that. Yeah, there are ways to process horn to be flexible enough to use for a bow. So, as far as that goes, it's not immediately implausible, but yeah, and this is supposed to be, you know, a right, this is supposed to be a bow used by the locals for whatever value of local you want to be using for this. Are you inside the thing? You are inside.
A mountain of silver to the first digger to open the way.
Gone. We found nothing but the gate we cannot open.
I shall call upon our ally. Heed me, Gorm of the Order. Ancient ones, I summon you. Speak to me, you stone-dwelling Gorman.
In time, what once was, shall be again.
Ah, right. Thanks for the clarification, yeah. That makes sense.
Burn it all. Keep digging, mules. Power beyond measure awaits. Power beyond measure.
Gorm, Kjotveson.
Hey, look, there he is. What do you think the odds are that we'll get to sneak and,
I locked him away for thieving. When I return, I will see that the beasts of the woods
I missed my chance. Blinding rush. Let's go. Let's go. Nailed it.
Hey, what? Stop right there.
Oh yeah, Mobius. Totally not a villain. These guys are fine. I have no problem. No idea what you're talking about. He's... Look at him. This is true, and you know, like way too many games, physical ability and moral character are a little bit closely related. Wait.
This is not the Rock of the Fallen?
No. Obviously.
Where are the women on the winged horses?
Gorm. You didn't understand the lesson of the Order of the Ancients. That makes everyone secretly atheists. Especially the Templars. The Order of the Temple of Jerusalem. And the Hospitallers.
My blood enemy.
Teutonic Knights. They're all atheists. Get with the times.
The hell of mist and cold. This is where the faithless dead come to die.
There are no gods. There is no Valhalla. There's just
ghosts, fate
atheism.
To be forgotten.
Your meddling has doomed us all, Crow of Battle.
Oh yeah, he just does that. He just does that, Alatar. Just hangs out.
More lies from a liar born. Now speak the truth. What brought the Order to this place?
To free a goddess.
You know, you're about 800 years early on that one.
By the Jotnar, in ages past.
We're gonna have to get all the way to Assassin's Creed 3 before that'll happen.
Not meet her now.
Mobius, I hate to break it to you, but Assassin's Creed 1 exists. Also, by the way, aren't these supposed to have great and terrible effects, like touching the pieces of Eden? It's supposed to generally be unrecommended.
What was Gorm digging for?
Eivor is totally unaffected, does not care.
Inside this cave.
Also, by the way, we are now in a fight. Don't worry about it. But we might be in a fight for a while, actually. Depends on how quickly they let me escape. Nope. Come on. Do things. Do things. Oh. Ow. Hey! Managed to get him hit by that. Nope, that's not good. Nah. We're fine. We killed all the scary ones already, see?
Let's not waste time.
No, it's just a bunch of these guys. Who, you know, you can just, like, hit with thrown weapons. Nope. Or stomp.
Follow my lead.
Or do both. You know, we have the ability to do both. Multitasking. Where did your weapon go? There it is. Gotta make sure we're trading them around, right? Yes, this is exactly how uncomplicated combat gets once you have built up a little bit. There, are we done? We're not done. Wait, what? That missed? How did that miss? Game?
Get behind!
Yeah. Once again, I continue to be unimpressed with the combat in this game, to be honest. Like, there are ways it could be a lot worse, but there are a lot of ways it could be a lot more fun. And there's just too many enemies at any given time, like, seriously. And what are you doing up there? What are you doing down here? What are you doing in general? Please. There we go.
You should know his tormentor is dead. I owe him.
I have now killed everyone relevant. Basically, cause yeah, you know, Eivor is. Gee, I wonder, will we put 2 and 2 together, unlike everyone else? Like Gorm's dumb.
The probabilities lead us here. The calculations give us hope.
This is not for me.
Wow.
I should return to Olav. He deserves to know what happened here.
Once again, remember, Eivor throughout the game is accused with some regularity of being a glory hound, who's only in it for herself, and does horrible things, and is generally a mess. Right, super uninterested, causes a lot of harm for other people, with her insistence on claiming all the glory herself, and generally is just rude to everyone. And yet here is yet another case, because her actions in the game almost universally say, hey, you know, I am the literal opposite of that. I, by and large, do, like, nice things, or try to. Ow. Could you not, though? And so yeah, you know, if it was just Dag doing it, Cuchulainn, I wouldn't have a problem. But Gviltrum does it too. Wow, my aim has gone to absolute shit. There it is. Okay, I don't care about killing that last person. You can have fun time stranded here, bye. Right. Exactly. It's super strong ludonarrative dissonance. It's not like it's ludodissonance that makes the game more fun. It's just like they couldn't decide they couldn't decide what her personality actually is supposed to be. And how similar she's supposed to be to how this game does Odin. Which, by the way, this game makes a hot mess of Odin. A couple weeks ago I did a stream on the Asgard arc, which I think is still on the Twitch page. Otherwise, in the About section, there's a link to the YouTube channel where the VOD is uploaded. While I'm on that note, though, and as we're going to clean up this, if you've enjoyed it and want to support the channel more, follows, subscriptions, and just spreading the word super help in making all of this possible. All money goes right back into it. And, you know, eventually, once supply improves, we'll get to do like Demon Souls, and PS5 games, and Uncharted, and all of those fun history games coming up. So subscriptions help a lot to help make that possible, so if you have a Twitch Prime, it's obviously free, but any and all support is super appreciated. Also, in the About section, there's links to the Discord server for the community, where you can talk to me and pester me all the time. and the YouTube channel where I do special video essays and upload all the VODs from all of my streams. So, yeah. Anyway, I talked a lot about Odin on the Asgard arc, but they do him dirty. They do him super dirty. And they make him sort of really, really greedy and calculating and self-interested, and then accuse Eivor of being the same thing. Despite no one have any reason to know that Eivor is the same person, essentially. Eivor certainly doesn't know. No one else seems to know, so... it becomes complicated. We have not reached the most stupid thing. We are close. And here's the thing. There's only one moment that's really stupid. For the most part, they seem... I obviously have not translated the script. I do not know what things they are actually saying. But certainly this game does need the Iroquois and in general the whole... if it's assigning them to be the Skrylingar, they do the Skrylingar way better than basically anyone else does. One of the games in the Steam Festival demos, which are live until tomorrow, I think, it supposedly supposed to be built, words again are hard, I've been up for a very long time, but it's supposed to be about, you know, Native American, it specifically says, you know, about the pre-Columbian Native American culture and mythology, singular, for its open world game demo. Yikes.
No, I need it for my tower.
But,
Sigurd, your
at the same
father
time...
tells me you have a love pledge with Sefa.
No, not anymore. She called me a whale face and I spit on her foot.
Sorry, I got distracted by Sigurd. As I said, it's been a long day. Where was I? Oh, right. This game's on the... that claims to be about pre-Columbian Native American anythings. Has a Viking sword and Viking cloak as things in the demo, because you can't not have those apparently. Despite that not being at all reasonable.
Must betray one another as the sun rises and sets.
Despite that not being at all reasonable, to say, hey, like, I don't know, 1400s? Nay, validate. Crap. I did the thing, I got greedy. Everyone laugh at me. There, it stays, I'm just gonna validate it like that. So... oh, you're just gonna let me try again? What? Do I need to stack all of them? Do I really need to do that? There, validated. So, yeah, that game has like a Viking cloak and a Viking sword, because apparently, like, the dominant... Vinland is just such a dominant force in popular consciousness, despite it being ridiculous that it is. And you know, that's actually the other thing I want to talk about as we're cleaning up here. Why is Vinland so bloody popular? To answer the question of the stream, why the hell is there Vinland with Vikings in it in the 9th century? Given that, Lance Almedas, we are in the wrong part of North America. We are interacting with the wrong group of people. We are in the wrong century. We are, by and large, with the wrong culture, and we're squeezing it into the metaplot. So what makes Vinland, even more so than Iceland or Greenland, such a strong part of the Viking consciousness? Or this imagined, specifically Anglo-American idea of what it means to be a Viking. Like, this is a place that matters. Oh, these are the... well, the language they're speaking is Iroquois. It seems to be that this game insists that this is the ancestors of the Mohawk, i.e. Cornish tribe, in Assassin's Creed 3. The place where Gorm was digging is a place in Assassin's Creed 3. So yeah, the story of like people being obsessed with Vinland starts really in 1837. Well, there are definitely interest in Scandinavia before then, and argument. Oh, those are bear. Suppose we should actually. Wow. Apparently, we're just gonna freaking murder. Oh. Ow. Those are bear. These are very small bear. Ow. That hurt. Please no. Please don't do the thing. And bear dead, and one more bear. So it is not actually an American who first proposes it in a way that gets a lot of action. While scholars in Scandinavia have proposed it before then, in 1837 the Danish philologist Carl Christian Raff says, hey, Vinland is in North America in his book American Antiquities, Antiquitates Americanae. And that becomes mega popular in specifically New England. And suddenly there's this big craze of non-historians in New England trying to figure out where Vinland is, because yeah, it's clearly in North America. Roth cited as evidence, addition to the literal description of the sagas, cited things like Newport's Lighthouse, which is a building in Connecticut that is, in Roth's time, was down to mostly its foundation, or like the top of it was sheared off, but is an octagonal structure with arches in kind of each window. There's just a tiny problem with identifying that as Norse, because he's like, yeah, this is super obviously Norse, don't worry about it.
I must catch my breath.
But the ridiculous factor really gets going with the fact that Newport, there are no Viking structures that are octagonal, or that use arches in that style. The Newport Lighthouse is actually a early modern Dutch thing built in the 17th century in the Dutch colony in Connecticut. Another piece of evidence that he uses is something, is a stone that had markings on it that, based off a description, Rapp never went to the United States. But based on a description, he was like, yeah, those are probably runes on it. There were not, in fact, runes on it. And he was like, oh, there's this one, there's one more thing. There's a, skeleton that's been found wearing bronze armor. And this is super popular, and actually Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, who knew Old Norse, by the way, studied in Copenhagen to learn Old Norse, wrote a poem about it, as imagining it as a Viking. Probably a local elder, or warrior elite burial from a local, early medieval tribe. Sadly, the skeleton has been destroyed, so we can't actually do anything on it. The museum where it was kept lit on fire, as it happens. Oops.
Should be cautious around here.
So, yeah. Those are the kinds of evidence we're looking at here. They're incredibly dubious, as it turns out, but they really wanted it to be. And there's two reasons for it. So, the first one here is good old-fashioned yikes Protestantism, in that, so the Vikings become like this pseudo-Protestant thing, and have like this big pan-Germanic heritage of Protestantism and being better than the Catholics. And this ties into, what? Ties into some, oh, those are mountain lions. This is awkward. You wanted me to fight mountain lions, right guys? And... these are very small, very sad-looking mountain lions. We'll talk about the environment before we get going. There are things to say about that, but I want to finish up this thought first. And, you know, maybe get a thing. We can grab one of these. And we'll grab that. There we go.
I'm off. Be well, friend.
So, let's actually put on the things, just so you guys can see it. Nope, in inventory. Okay. So, this kind of Protestant imagining, extends to the point where they're actually looking at, like, anti-Italian things, because there's this incredibly racist theory of European culture going on at the time, and that you can divide it into three. There is Germanic, which is obviously the best, because obviously it needs no justification. There is Alpine, who are okay, I guess, if you insist. And then there's Mediterranean, which includes the Irish. And they all suck. Lo and behold, these happen to also basically correspond to when did you immigrate to the United States? Because the English gets counted among the Germanic. And so therefore, obviously, the foundation... America must be secretly Germanic Protestant. And how could you be more Germanic Protestant than being the Vikings? You know, that group that's famously not Christian, even though most of the people who went to Vinland probably were Christian. But who still lived 500 years before the Protestant Reformation? Yeah, that. Nailed it. Quality. Quality scholarship. But, yeah, so there's a big desire for America to be rightfully the place of the Germanic heritage in the specifically northeastern and midwestern elite American culture in the 19th century. And therefore, everyone wanted the Vikings and Vinland to be in the United States. Specifically, not just on North America, in the United States. And all of the arguments put forward as to where it is in the United States, like in Cambridge, Massachusetts, are so hilariously weak that even other people at the time, like, dunked on every single argument as to where it might be. So there's never agreement as to where Vinland was, but there's this big desire to use the sagas as historical sources to say, hey, yeah, white people, before Columbus, claimed America for pan-Germanic nationalism. Pan-Germanic nationalism shows up in another form. It's called the Nazis. So, you know, let that all... it's these same impulses. Incredibly racist, pseudo-scientific nonsense is informing why Vinland becomes popular. Because let's be honest about what Vinland is. It is a short-lived settlement on the very fringes of the world that was used in the Middle Ages as a way to say, hey, look, Greenland isn't so peripheral after all. Greenland is not the most out there place. It's just almost the most out there place. Just like Iceland said, hey look, we're not the edge of the world where all the pagans live. Look at Greenland exists. We're so much better. We're so much better than Greenland.
Over the waves we sail. Good stranger.
So, it's incredibly marginal, incredibly short-lived. There's one attempt to visit in the 1120s. Bishop Eiríkur of Greenland goes and is like, yeah, we should...
What? No. Is that...
He is in the horse now.
I am sorry, Frey.
So yeah, Bishop Eriker tries to go in the 1120s. 4 years later, there's a different Bishop of Greenland. So, he died. That was the last attempt to go to Vinland. Adam of Bremen mentions Vinland in the 1070s. There are the two sagas about it, which exist in a few copies, and do a few things, but...
So, what brings you here, kinsman? Was it the pull of the wilderness? The thrill of the hunt?
Oh yeah, Watcher, if you find the link to that, that is totally a real thing. And on the same level of yikes, the same level of yikes on that says Thomas Jefferson in his letters. We're like, yeah, on the flag of the United States should be Hengist and Horsa, the legendary leaders of the Saxon migrations of the 6th century, because clearly American law and the entire premise of, like, justice stems from those two. And their purity of spirit. It is exactly as bad. Oh, we can remember that's Arna. Cuchulainn, remember we had to lead him up the thing. Oh, by the way, it's just a mountain lion, guys. That's only pretty scary.
Oh, what a beast we felled! You show true grit out there. Thank you for joining our hunt.
Predator or prey, you are what you choose to do.
That creature was even worse than a bear, truly.
Is it?
This wilderness is too much for me. I cannot wait to be back home.
Uh-huh.
We are done here. If we ever meet again back on familiar ground, you are welcome to join us.
By the way, don't go hunting with that axe. Don't go with that axe anywhere, please.
Anna did so well. You too, of course. Now we can return home with our head
You're gonna take that overweight turkey all the way? I mean, that's a long voyage, my guy. Like, you've gotta go up, from here, you've gotta go up the coast to Markland. And then you've gotta go farther up the coast to Bear Island. And then you've gotta cut across to Greenland. And then you've got to make the 3-day voyage to Iceland. And then if you want to go all the way back to Norway, you're gonna have to make a straight shot across to Trondheim. Are you sure that you want to bring the turkey all the way? And if you're going to England, then you got to go, like, from Iceland you got to turn south and hit the Faroes, and then the Shetlands, and then the Orkneys. And then you hit England. So... sadly, we don't even have the dignity of, like, keep the legendary beast, the legendary moose that we killed. We don't even get the dignity of seeing it on our wall. We don't take it back with us, for no reason. Sadly, we cannot ride the turkeys. They are not horses. They do not let us ride them. And they are not direwolves, so we cannot ride them. Though if they ever changed our horse out for a turkey, for just a gigantic turkey, I might be persuaded to spend money for that. I'd be like, the only time you could persuade me to spend more money on this game than the $100 I already did. But, you know. Huh. Mobius, that is incredibly weird. Nature do spooky stuff sometimes, I think is all I want to say on that. So, again, you know, let's wrap up here by talking about the environment and, like, how they communicate that this is North America. Like, in the workshop today, of which a bunch of you are from, there was a lot of talking about, like, color, and the ways in which you're communicating emotion through the use of color and through design choices. And so, really, kind of, the image I get off of this is really even more than England, than the misty parts of England, is that this is supposed to be an incredibly pristine landscape. At least, unlike is way too common in American games and American media, they don't pretend that the actual people already living here are part of the landscape. At least not totally. We'll get there in a very short second. But you know, they're trading, they're doing stuff, they are actually using the natural world for things. But you end up with kind of this amalgamation of just whatever's around, as far as the wildlife, right? The only big animal that we're missing is bison, which if there were bison on this side of the Appalachia, I'd be worried for very, very many reasons. But you've got all the other hits. You've got mountain lions, you got black bears, you got moose. And there's always this fog, right? Down the valleys. You have a lot of mountains, a lot of waterfalls, and a lot of fog to give the whole thing this aura of being foreign. Also, everything is in a different language, right? The places are named fundamentally in a way you cannot understand, which is not the case for any spot in the European maps. Which is cool. They also do the nighttime differently. The nighttime is way darker than in England, and the Milky Way is more clear. Scandinavia has the auroras. They don't have that here, but that's not part of the stereotype. So yeah, it's really trying to do a lot in the environment design, and I think mostly works. It works more than it doesn't work in terms of communicating this as something different. I think the biggest one, and the most useful one, is the naming, right? Because naming something gives it power. That's just the way it works. Naming something is putting your mark on it. It's altering in some way so it can act on humans. So you've got like the clearly Norse sites, Falgruf, Whalegrave, Naurfljot, either Nail Flood or some kind of flood, and Niha, Steinhus, Stonehouse, and Niha, New Harbor. But everything else is given in other languages, which reminds us that there are other people here.
No need to hide now, Olaf.
That being said...
Gorm is dead.
Gorm? Dead? By your hand?
He paid a bloody price.
We haven't seen any beavers here.
I will not say more.
We've seen bald eagles, we've seen turkeys, we've seen bear, we've seen mountain lions, we've seen moose, we've seen deer, we've seen wolves.
They tell stories.
That's it.
And I like to listen, though I do not hear.
Anyway, so, you know what I just said about how, oh yeah, they remember that the native people actually inhabit this landscape and matter? Forget all of that. Because remember what I just said? I said earlier about how the piece of Eden we have, or that Gorm had that we took from him, is the same one that Connor has in Assassin's Creed 3. What that means is that the ancestors of the Mohawk do not discover it on their own. They don't discover its use on its own. They don't adapt have their own traditions around it. Right? As far as we are concerned, the Isu may as well just not exist here, apart from the one thing that they seem totally disinterested in, and only the big brain Europeans actually care about. So guess who's going to give the Mohawk the piece of Eden? Well, guess. Yeah, no, they found it. They had their own conflicts over it. There's their own story, their own culture. based around the Piece of Eden, right? Right. No. Eivor gives it to them. Soon. We can just let this cutscene play out so you can see. Eivor, give it to them.
I do not understand. You want me to tell a story? All right. Let me think.
Let's see what story we shall tell. We'll let the cutscene play out because, you know, it's a nice cutscene. But then we'll be very angry about it.
A story of betrayal, of selfish malice, and of gods who act as spoiled children. Of all our many gods, it is Odin who is the most revered. He is the All-Father, the High One, the Wise King.
Yeah, maybe that's... he doesn't act like a spoiled child if he's the most revered.
The most elusive of his kind. Selfish, solitary, stubborn, cruel.
No.
In days long gone, it came to pass that Odin's son Balder died suddenly.
Not gonna mention the murder was done about it?
Mistletoe. Believing his son's death an accident, Odin sent a message to the Jotun, Hel, asking her to return his beautiful boy to life.
Sure.
Hel agreed, but on one condition. Only if every living creature in the 9 worlds shed a loving tear for Balder.
Okay, this is basically the central myth of Norse mythology.
Every corner of the world, asking all to weep for his beloved boy. And all did. But one.
And it's basically exactly how Snorri tells it.
A Jotun named Thok refused to cry for Balder. Let Hel keep what she has received, Thok said with malice. And that was that. Balder was gone forever. Sent on a funeral ship across the sea.
No, he wasn't married to Midgardr. What are you talking about? Like, that's the one ship that was explicitly burned to a crisp on a pyre.
Was none other than the trickster Loki in disguise. A god he knew as a friend. Worse still, it was Loki who led Balder to his death by a sprig of mistletoe. All these tricks and feints Loki had conceived. Some say it was in Loki's nature to be so cruel. Others argue it was revenge.
Hey, wait, that's an actual academic debate. Except no one's done a dedicated study about Loki in a while.
There is a third view. That all these acts, kind and cruel, were sown long ago in the pattern of their lives. That we are not the authors of our own destiny, but only its readers. And that we...
Oh god, no, I will not. I don't want to touch a dedicated study of Loki with a 10-foot pole.
Against this view, for it is deeply unwelcome.
Eivor, the concept of Domr is kind of an important part of the heroic ethos. You can't just do that.
Gorm brought this stone across the whale road for a strange purpose. I do not know why. But it seems to belong to this land.
So yeah, by the way, this piece of Eden is not European, though it seems to belong to this land, but somehow it either made it from North America to Europe and then Gorm brought it back, or it was introduced to the Americas by Gorm. Also, yay facial animation bugs. So, in either case, Eivor is the one to give it to the ancestors of the Mohawk, and they just kind of hold on to it and do nothing with it for the next 800 years. Literally 800 years. We're in about 875? Actually, almost 900 years. We've got to get it, so we're in about 875? And, you know, Assassin's Creed 3 is in the American Revolution, so the 1780s, so yeah, you know, 900 years. They do nothing with it besides hold on. Oh, of course not, Rat. Why would any of that be explained? No one cares about, like, why these artifacts got there, or how other people respond to them. Didn't you know? The mainline Assassin's Creed games are about Europeans, even Assassin's Creed 3, which pretended to not be. I mean, Rashkavar, yes, it is, but that's not so much the point. Right, the point is not, oh, well, yes, they're secretly wise and learned how to realize it was a bad idea and didn't use it. It's more the point that they didn't have aren't given the agency to do so. They are not allowed to discover it, or what it means, or interact with it in a meaningful way, or have it be theirs. Right? Assassin's Creed 3 was super cool because while Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 show the map of where all these ECU artifacts are, Assassin's Creed 3 is the first time we get to see it in a non-European culture, and to have some other metric of interacting with that. This game said, nah, screw that, it was actually given to them by a European. And so they literally took the wrong century, the wrong place, and a nonsensical plotline with the wrong people in order to shoehorn in stripping the native people of their narrative agency they had in Assassin's Creed 3. That is the entire point of this arc, was to just do that.
So little reward. Yara of Jorvik, you shirked your work for quite some time.
Fuck Vinland.
Yara is no more. My name is Eivor, a Drenger of the Raven clan. My purpose is fulfilled.
Purpose? What purpose?
Gorm is dead! The troll is dead!
Olav!
It's real bad.
Sister, let us celebrate. Gorm Kjötveson is no more. Slain by Eivor Ravenfriend, Eivor Forest Strider, Eivor Olavursaver.
What is this?
Oh, much lighter note. He just said that that I was Eivor Olavursaver. Grammatically wrong, and also you're noticing that they're just really mixing Icelandic, reconstructed Old Norse, and Norwegian, because Olav with a V is Norwegian.
I suggest you leave this place.
Olafur is Icelandic. But they even speed up a little bit faster, so Olavur is reconstructed Old Norse. So yeah, it's somewhere like in between, but definitely should be Olav's.
I feared the worst for you.
Genitive, so grammar.
Well, yes, oh so well. And I may stay to linger one season or two.
Pinky, Whale Rider is actually fine-ish. It's not a great killing by any means, but the horse of the Road of Wales is a ship, is a kending for a ship, and so the rider of the horse of the Road of Wales is a sailor or a warrior.
I will sail
so,
with you.
right, so Whale Rider is a smushing of rider of the ship of the Road of Wales, or rider of the horse of the Road of Wales.
This life and the next.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Oh yeah, also Olav, the crazy guy, the unlucky, crazy guy who doesn't wear all of his clothes is also just going to stay in North America. There we go, far wins the Whale Road. Also, one more fun note about this. Eivor's grave, according to the modern day section, which, you know, we'll actually back out of the Animus here at this point. We're going to back out to go talk to people, because we have some time. It's only been like 2 hours. So, once we're back, we're going to back out of the Animus and take a look at our modern day section. And then recognize the modern day section is also in North America. In fact, it's in New York State.
Now it seems the wind calls me back to Randi. Best tell her the good news.
Let us go. Let's actually go up here, finish the quest line, get the reward, and then we'll enter the modern day. But remember, yeah, the modern day takes place in New York. Not New York City, New York, upstate, where Eivor's grave is.
You've been away for so long.
Were you worried?
Of course I was. Such a long voyage. Did you do what had to be done?
I did.
So, yeah, we are
closer to home.
Good.
How to say this?
Done.
This is not the only time Eivor goes to Vinland, which means they committed the sin twice.
Good. I would like to hear everything about your journey to Vinland when you have time.
One day.
Yes, Rashkavar, I am playing the game. I have another file that is significantly farther in the game, though I'm catching up rather rapidly. Oops. Because, yeah, doing this blind is not fun for you guys. And it doesn't let me do what I want to do with this project. Right? So... anyway, we'll just quick make a save here in case something breaks horribly. I don't think anything will break horribly, but, where is Animus? Please give Animus. No, that's the store. Nope. That still is the store. There it is. Quests. Nope. Animus. Exit simulation. Yeah, so... Yes, right, that's exactly what happened. Eivor went to Vinland, did the thing there, went back to England, finished up that arc, did some other stuff in Ireland and Francia, and then went back to Vinland to die. Which is mega oof. Let's just be honest here. It is mega oof.
Damn. Someone will be happy.
Did they forget to water the plants? Sean. I asked you like 7 times to water the plants. Whoa, camera.
Sean, what do you make of the grave out there?
Well, it overturns a few hundred years
yeah,
of scholarship
that's
about
an
the first
understatement.
Europeans to set foot in North America. Apart from that, it's just a bunch of muddy bones, isn't it?
Sean.
Can we talk about this thing on my neck for a second?
Okay, that's just plot. I don't care about plot. Nope.
Sean, what happened?
I understand.
Nope.
And you still.
Plot.
If you want to work with us,
plot.
then you wear
I don't care. I don't. Seriously, Sean, stop talking. Okay.
You're right.
Yeah, please. Long story short, at the end of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Layla may have stabbed her best friend and companion using this spear, which by the way is the spear of Hermes Trismegistus. Apparently that existed in ancient Greece, and the Emerald Tablet is from a different century than it claims it is. I mean, it was only a little bit murder. Anyway, everyone say hi to Eivor. With a 11th century Norman helmet, a reasonably plausible, though awfully in good condition, shield. Those spears are fine. Those are fine. The arm rings and the thing are fine. Some kind of gaming pieces, good. A thing there, good. A sword and a shorter sword. Extremely shallow burial. You know, extremely shallow burial, but also extremely high status. Like, really high status stuff. We've got 2 spears, 4 arrows, an axe and 2 swords, 2 helmets, given that that's also a helmet, though in significantly worse condition, and some jewelry. So, ludicrously, like, we're missing a few things in a Norse burial. We're missing animal sacrifices, horses and dogs being the most common. We're missing occasionally other weirdness, like a random moose antler, like in one grave in Finland. And we're missing some amount of jewelry, or caps or other things. It's also, you know, not in a mound. While mounds are not super popular in this point in the Viking Age, they're really popular in the Bronze Age, they're pretty popular in the Iron Age, they're a little bit popular in the very early Viking Age, they die off in popularity, and then right before Christianization, they become popular again. And then they stop completely. But, really shallow grave, and if you want this kind of classic heroic burial, a mound would be a lovely way to communicate that. But yes, extremely, extremely too shallow. Oh, by the way, did we mention that the world is... The world is ending, this is an earthquake, everyone stay calm. But the world is going to end by solar flare. Because, yeah, that's just the thing that's going to happen again. Remember Assassin's Creed 3? Because the writers of this game sure did, and they said, screw it. Yeah, Maraxa, they just basically said, we like the plot of Assassin's Creed 3 so much that we're gonna do it again. We're just gonna do it again. It's terrible. I despise it. But yeah, the Toba Crisis is apparently, you know, solar flares again. Another solar flare. Oh, by the way, the Toba Crisis in the lore of this game is a solar event and not a volcanic eruption, despite us knowing where the volcano is. Just gonna leave that one out there. Settlement, River Neem, mine in Leicestershire. We'll find bodies, grave goods, evidence of war. Thank you, Sean. Or, actually, that's probably Bex. That level of sarcasm is definitely more of a Bex thing. So, yeah. Let's not do spoilers for the metaplot at the end of this game, Peter. Just for the sake of... There are some things that I wish to remain a surprise.
Nice to sleep in a real bed when this is over.
Right, all evidence in the game so far says that this is currently a solar flare. Alfred the Great, what do we know about him? Famous for his holy vision of uniting all the kingdoms of England, one country under one rule. No? No, he didn't even make that claim. He definitely acted to secure Wessex, but it's his son, and then his nephew. No. His son and then his other son, sorry. Edward being his main son, and then his grandson Athelstan is the first one to really make that claim with any precedent in like 925 to be the King of England. Alfred, I mean... So, I think it's probably the case that Asser claims that he had a holy vision. I'm guessing that's where they got that from. Is that Asser's Vita Alfredi claims he had a holy vision about uniting England and driving out the invaders, but that's propaganda made up after the fact. Asser was his biographer and friend, but also very much engaged in Wessex propaganda. So, not a fan. Indeed, random pictures. Well, the concept art for this game is lovely. Is there actually anything... What are these? Oh, well, these are Isu. Uh-huh. Really? Really? They spelled monolithic with a Y. $100 million game, by the way. Holy... Oh no. Oh god, no. No, we're just gonna leave. No. 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 The thing that spooks me so much was the claim that the Isu language was an ancestor of Proto-Indo-European. The comparative method for comparative linguistics can go back about 8,000 years. Anything else, you are literally engaging in rampant BS speculation.
Probably bought this in a coffee shop somewhere in Concord.
Did I move too fast, chat? I know the stream lags somewhat all the time because my internet is garbage. But yeah, let's go back. Let's go back and look at that again, cause they sure did say that. Secure share. There you are. Readme.odt. It's quite puzzling. Anyway, maybe the precursors were not a monolithic civilization as we think. Anyway, after more in-depth comparative work, the conclusion is unequivocal. Unequivocal. Shouldn't it be unequivocal? Anyway, this language is related to ancient languages from the Indo-European family, maybe even others. In fact, given the corpus I have studied, I would say is probably an ancestor to them, or at least had significant influence. This is truly fascinating. I know the plots that the Isu created humans as a slave race, because holy god, this game's meta plot is garbage. But really? When destruction and death runs before us and the solar flare is reaching to the calculator of futures, we run. Anyway, okay. Let's take a look at what these are. We had to go there too, didn't we? Hello? Voyn. Yeah, so the Voynish manuscript was created probably in the 15th? I want to say 15th century. I'm bad with dates, don't quote me on that. Was produced in Italy. They found one in Canterbury using the same script. Also, famously untranslatable. Famously has never been deciphered. Translation. Also, yeah. This is why they created humans. They must be credulous in matters of imagination, suspicious in matters of fact, see patterns where there are none. Sure. Also, current father Yaldabaoth, because literally Gnosticism exists. Yaldabaoth, the, hang on. Yaldabaoth is the demiurge. Samplas is also the demiurge, isn't it? But then Samael is different. Isn't... Seriously? Seriously. Are assigned to the sanitation of the lake, effective now. Not sure what this refers to. This must... Found in Azerbaijan. Okay, Lake Baikal? I'm gonna guess it's Lake Baikal because why else would why would they do something smart and interesting? Maraxa, they're the father and the mother, so two different entities. Like the father of understanding, the mother of wisdom. Two different Isu entities as a kind of, like, honorary elected title. The sun shone warmly inside, a burning sight, now I soothe the wound in a lake of tears. Neat. Found in Tanzania and the Serengeti. What was true is untrue. Hey look! Hey look, it's related to the rebellion, also known as Adam and Eve. I got nothing. Yeah, I mean, yes, Maraxa, but it's so dumb. The Isu lore being every religion is so dumb. Except Christianity. Christianity is not the religion. I don't know why Christianity is not, like, immune. It's supposed to just be, like, fake news. Christianity is supposed to be, like, totally fake news. But Gnosticism's based on real stuff. Huh? Because those two categories definitely never overlapped. And these are our kind of fragments of someone doing stuff, someone still doing stuff, and someone still doing stuff. Wow. Don't you love the animus anomalies? I don't love... Oh yeah, these are the... how they recruited Layla to the assassins. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Neutrina, if I knew I'd tell you, but the answer is because AC does... The... AC makes so many other things look good about religion. Like, so many other games do religion well relative to how Assassin's Creed does it. Because, oh my god, they do it the actual worst way you could possibly conceive of how to do this. So remember, the Norse gods are Isu. The Greek gods are also the Jötnar on a different group of Isu. The Gnostics are Isu. The Demiurge, the Yaldabaoth/Saklas are Isu. The Devas are Isu. And Christianity and Islam are a superstition that was created to trick humans into thinking that there's a reality beyond what there is. Oh, Alatar, sorry, spoilers. Yeah, spoilers for the Jotunheim arc. You didn't think I was done with the mythological stuff, did you? If you thought I was done with the mythological stuff, oh no, oh no. So, that wraps up today's stream. I think that's about all I can handle, and also, we don't have nearly enough time to start any other story arcs. Where are we going next time? So, actually, at this point, we actually have some important stuff. Kent is main plot related, unfortunately. So we've got to do that one. We are not going to be doing, Lincoln. We're not going to be doing Lincolnshire on this stream. We're not going to be doing Essex on this stream. This game is way too freaking long, and most of the interesting things that I know of at this point happen later in the game. There's something vague. There's a few vaguely interesting things in Jorvik, and in generally Jorvikshire. I don't know what's in Nottinghamshire. I know Gloucestershire is one we want to do. Obviously, Hamptonshire and Winchester we're going to do. And Sussex's main plot. I am still undecided on Shropshire. On the one hand, we gotta talk more about the Ragnar Sons. And the Welsh. Actually, no, we gotta do it, because this is the only time we meet the Welsh. Gloucestershire doesn't count. Despite Mara Lewis appearing in Gloucestershire, Gloucestershire doesn't count. So the only time we get to actually talk about, like, King Rodri the Great is in Shropshire, so we're gonna have to do that one. Oh, yeah, there's gonna be some molding. It's gonna be hilarious. But there's nothing of value in Essex, and there's nothing of value in Lincolnshire. So we can definitely drop those two. We'll see, we'll play it kind of by ear. I think we'll drop one of Nottinghamshire or Jorvikshire, kind of depending on which one ends up being more interesting. I haven't played them on the other file yet. I really need to get on that. So we'll drop one of those two, just try and save us some time. But, I mean, that's 3 weeks of streams pulled off. Just so we can get to the fun stuff faster, like, horse Halloween festivals, or more Alfred the Great. You think Nottinghamshire over Jorvikshire? Sounds good. Oh, you're okay. I thought Halfdan appeared in both. But if he's only in Jorvikshire, yeah. We gotta be doing Jorvikshire. Yep, so yeah. Just so everyone knows, we're going to start seeing progress crop up randomly before it makes, without it being on stream. We're just gonna have to roll with that, because Jesus, this game is too long. And, you know, I would love to be at least close to done before the Ireland DLC drops. I don't know when in March it drops, but I'd like to be close, you know? And I definitely want to be done before, you know, like God of War Ragnarok comes out, or before I can, shortly after I get a hold of a PS5 and there's Demon's Souls remake. There's lots of other games I want to play, in short, and I insist on only doing one long one at a time, because otherwise I'll need way more streaming days than I can afford to do at the present time. So yeah, we're gonna speed some stuff up. But I hope you all enjoyed. As I said, if you like this, make sure you're followed to be notified. Every weekend, every Saturday, we do Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And on Wednesdays, we do kind of variety streams. Depending on where we're at, there is a if I have time to look up modern history, there is a game I want to do for totally innocent reasons called Is the President a Traitor? Totally innocuous. There's no politically charged reason why I might want to do that stream next week. If not, but if I don't have time to look up modern history, we'll do Hades, because duh. Hades is a good game. The game's about, like, Cold War, Nixon Watergate stuff, and Cold War conspiracy theories. So, still historical, just modern. Anyway, Hades is a good game. I think next time we'll do Hades one more time, and then that is probably the last time we do Hades on this stream for a while. Because then I want to start a JRPG. Because, as I said, only one long game at a time, right? Anyway, I hope you all have a good rest of your weekend. I am very tired. I am going to go sleep. So, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Or you can join the Discord and then pester me literally all of the other times. I'm frequent there, significant, like, always. Sanity check. Thank you, Gazishan, for reminding me. Sanity check is rough. Fuck Vinland. It is so bad. Not because anything in it is awful, unlike Asgard, right? It's bad for a totally different set of reasons than Asgard is bad, but it's way worse than Asgard because it's the gods don't exist, right? If they butchered Norse mythology, they butchered like 2 texts. They took narrative agency away from real people at a moment where we can't have that in this arc. So, Sanity's rough. Sanity's rough. Sleep should help. The bow is pretty bad. I won't lie, the bow is quite bad. Anyway, have a good weekend, everyone. Some of you I will see tomorrow. The rest of you I will see on Wednesday. Cheers.